Good evening and welcome to Channel 100 Knowledge and Reality. Breaking news, evil exists and now we don't know for sure if God exists. If evil exists, how can God exist at the same time? We know that evil exists and therefore we know that God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. If God existed, there would be no evil. Or would there? Let's look into that. Some things that have happened today that proves that evil exists. A shoplifting at the Dollar Tree, a 7-point earthquake in Antarctica, the horror, and the assassination of our president. As you can see, we're a fun news channel. So what better way to analyze this pressing issue than with a game? We have our contestants. Please tell our viewers a little about yourself.
My name is Dylan Corey. I'll be representing the argument for the non-existence of God due to the existence of evil. But don't get me wrong, I'm not your typical atheist. I respect all opinions, even the wrong ones.
Well, I'm Daniel Kim, and I'll be proving that God and evil can indeed coexist. In other words, I'll be proving him wrong.
Lovely. Let's begin our game. The first person to convince me whether evil poses a serious problem for a theist or not wins this brand new electric toothbrush.
I'd be happy to. Most, if not all, of monotheistic religions believe in God, some higher power that created the universe, who is all-powerful, all-knowing, and purely good. But with that description, we encounter a very simple yet very significant issue. What is evil doing in such a perfect being's world? It would seem to me that a being that is all good would want to rid the world of all evil, and being all-powerful could perfectly well do so.
Let me tell you exactly why. Free will. The evils we commit are allowed to occur because of the greater good of the existence of morally free beings.
Oh, please. The free will defense is far from sufficient to diffuse all, or even most of the evil that occurs in the world. You need a theodicy, which will provide a hypothesis to make the coexistence of God and evil more probable than not, and preferably a full theodicy, which accounts for every evil. It can't be done any other way.
Don't you know how unreasonable that is? The existence of evil provides difficulty only for a theist, and should not be considered evidence against him. Instead, a set of defenses, such as the free will defense, can suffice.
Defenses hold no verifiable truth value. They're not evidence.
As I said, the existence of evil is a difficulty, not evidence. So my rebuttal does not need to be evidentiary either. If my defenses seem logical, even though they aren't necessarily true, they still count against your argument.
Well, you're going to need a lot more than just the free will defense to lay a scratch on my argument.
Evil is necessary for a rational, purposeful, and morally significant life, and we need to develop values in order to reach perfectness and enter into a perfect relationship with God.
Again, you're only touching upon the evils that directly affect people. What about natural evils? What about the suffering of animals or the suffering of our environment through natural causes?
Challenging natural environments help us act upon the sufferings in a morally good way. For example, we can choose to do good by helping victims. And from a more physical and realistic view, these dangers and threats are what help us develop intellectually, so that we may avoid or find ways to counter such threats and pass on this knowledge for survival.
So God wants people to develop morally at the expense of others' sufferings? Where is his good?
Simply, it's a case of requiring a uniform natural law. God created the natural world the best and most logical way possible. And although he may have avoided all unnecessary evils, there are natural dangers that are out there and must stay in order for the natural world, to function.
So, where's his good?
Well, as this argument seems to be reaching no conclusion and derailing just a bit, let's have a nice, normal, everyday weather report.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jessica here with today's weather report, which unfortunately is looking rather horrendous. However, I believe I can provide some useful insights into our current events. Firstly, you can see a hurricane here that is forming off the coast of Mexico, aptly named Hurricane McCord. All of those in its path must prepare to balance out this horrible evil by loving their family members, giving back to the community, and volunteering before evacuating. This seemingly unjustifiable disaster can be negated with individual good, which is so very good to know with all this recent talk of evil. Next, we have a situation which a horrible, awful, no good, very bad tornado named Tornado Row, we do name all our disasters here at Channel 100, is set to hit here in the peaceful Midwestern United States. This swirling vortex of evil is unjustifiable and unnecessary. Now, I'm a very friendly, person, but when things such as this can occur, I understand why some people believe in God, but if your God is so omnipotent that this can happen, I have to disagree. Next, we have a horrid earthquake set to occur in California named Earthquake Bergman. Well, it may be horrid, or really horrid, or only semi-horrid. Case in point, we can't predict the exact magnitude at which this earthquake will occur. In fact, my career is rather moot sometimes. As a mere member of the human race, all of my knowledge combined is just so small and insignificant. Even though there is an impending earthquake, I cannot know all the other mysterious things that are just going to happen or will happen in this world. And so, I think I would say, believe in God, not meteorology. It is unreliable at best. Well, that's been the weather, folks. Enjoy the rest of today's program.
Let's check back on our contestants. Have you guys reached a consensus yet?
What do you think? He's so stubborn. I'm clearly correct.
The only correct thing you said all day is your name.
Oh yeah? Why don't we take that outside? How about I kick your butt? How's that for necessary evil?
If it'll teach you moral reasoning to not pick a fight with someone stronger than you, so be it.
Hello everyone, I am live at Cozy, where we're going to be gathering public opinions on this recently discovered problem of evil. Hi, good afternoon. I'm with Channel 100 News. Would you mind answering a couple of questions for me?
I don't see why not.
Okay, well first, what is your name?
Paul Draper.
Okay, so today we're talking about the problem of evil. So do you think that God and evil can coexist?
That is a very interesting topic. For me, I don't think God exists because He wouldn't give us free will that would lead to pain and suffering. Why would He create some things that are evil in this world?
Thank you for your input. Excuse me, hi. I'm with Channel 100 News. Would you mind if I ask you some questions real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so first, what's your name?
Nice to meet you. My name is John.
Well, today we're talking about the problem of evil. So what are your thoughts on the idea that free will is necessary for a morally good life?
Well, I would have to agree with that statement because how can you be perfect or good without being able to choose whether to do good or evil?
Okay, but if God was omnipotent, wouldn't He have made it possible for that to occur?
Well, God wanted us to choose Him out of our own free will. If He had made us perfectly good, then we would have no choice but to be good and to choose Him. Does that make sense?
I think so. Thank you for your input.
No problem.
Hi, excuse me. I'm with Channel 100 News. Would you mind answering a couple of questions for me?
I'm so busy right now. I don't have time for this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm with Channel 100 News. Would you mind answering some questions for me?
Sure.
What is your name?
Michael Bergman?
All right, so we're talking about the problem of evil today. So, who do you think God is? Like, what do you think about it?
Well, I guess the easiest way to be to say He's all good and all powerful. Simple as that.
But what about God doing evil? If He's all powerful, He should be able to. But if He is all good, He shouldn't be able to.
Well, I guess that's something to think about.
Well, I mean, God could very well do evil, but He chooses not to because He knows it's the right thing to do.
Can you elaborate?
Okay, yeah. So I guess this is how it is. Maybe God is still omnipotent because He has the ability to do evil, but He still chooses not to. And only because He can do evil, but He doesn't, is how He's still good. So He's both omnipotent and good.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi. Hi. I'm with Channel 100 News. Would you mind if I ask you some questions real quick? Sure. All right, first, what's your name?
Okay, don't ask her her name.
It's okay. What's your name?
I'm just a little nervous, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
My name is John.
Okay. Wait, come back. We're trying to do an interview here, okay? Alright, so we're talking about the problem of evil today, okay? So what do you think about the coexistence of God and evil?
Well, I don't know where to start.
Alright, so if I give you some ideas, and then you can give me some feedback, alright?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So first of all, God cannot exist without evil. Second, evil is necessary for good. Third, the universe is better with evil in it than it would be without evil. And fourth, evil is the result of human free will.
Well, okay. Well, I guess for starters, for the good cannot exist without evil. If God created logic, wouldn't he have created a logic so that it's possible that good exists without evil? And for evil being necessary as a means for good, that would just imply a restriction on God's power, wouldn't it? So is he omnipotent or not?
Well, that's a very, very deep question there. But what is your overall take on the problem?
I would say there's no valid solution right now.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Well, that's been our program, folks. Overall, there are strong points on either side when it comes to this recent revelation of the problem of evil. Some say it can be balanced out and perhaps that free will justifies it all, while others claim that there's nothing to solve such crimes, and if they persist, God must not. However, if you are all listening closely to that last interview, a point has been brought up which just might throw a wrench in both sides. The paradox of omnipotence begs the question: can God create rules to bind himself? And can he create beings that he subsequently cannot control? If the answer is yes, God will cease to be omnipotent. If the answer is no, God was not omnipotent to begin with. This stalls both sides of the problem of evil in their tracks. For if God is not omnipotent, the problem itself ceases to exist. We here at Channel 100, Knowledge and Reality, would like to leave you with that thought. Have a good night, not an evil one.